More than 60 years ago, a mom of a child with a disability organized her friends, family members, and neighbors to create services and programs for people in our area with disabilities. Today, her vision is thriving as Thrive Upstate, which is redefining ability in our community. Their mission has remained consistent over those decades, creating services and opportunities for those with intellectual disabilities. I'm Katie Smith with Greater Good Greenville, and on this episode of Simple Civics Greenville County, I speak with Tyler Rex, Executive Director of Thrive Upstate, about their mission to support our neighbors in thriving at life, work, and play. Tyler has been at the helm of Thrive Upstate for 8 years, but he has spent his entire career in similar organizations, and for him, it's personal, as he is a father to 2 children who have disabilities. We'll put links to learn more about Thrive Upstate in the show notes. I'm so delighted to be joined today by Tyler Rex with Thrive Upstate, who's doing such important work and in such an innovative way. Tyler, thanks so much for being here.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Let's start with you just telling us why Thrive Upstate matters, and it does matter so much.
So, disability cuts across every demographic that there is. It cuts across gender, race, socioeconomic position, region. And here in Greenville County, we're really proud of the history that our community has had in supporting people with disabilities. And it goes back to a grassroots group of individuals who really took the lead in the state of South Carolina in supporting individuals with disabilities. So we're really proud of not only that history, but we're proud of the things that our individuals are doing today in Greenville County. And it's a wonderful organization to be a part of.
Give us a little bit of details then about the folks who Thrive Upstate serves each year.
So we support about 600 individuals with lifelong developmental disabilities or traumatic brain injury. We support 252 individuals in our residential programs, and these are in houses scattered across Greenville County from TR to Fountain Inn to Taylor's and Greer to downtown. Then we support about 400 individuals in our adult day programs, and this is a combination of employment-based supports or community activities and volunteerism. We also support over 100 families in our early intervention program, which is supporting families who have a young newborn with a disability. And we have our head and spinal cord injury program that supports individuals who have suffered or survivors of a traumatic brain injury, and supported by about 400 employees.
Tell us about some of the programs you offer that are really unique, and you all do approach this in such an innovative way.
We're really proud of our Drumming Up Awareness program, which is based here on our campus in a brand new music studio that we call Studio 1700. And it is truly unique, not only in South Carolina, but perhaps in the United States, in that it is a music studio devoted to music learning for people with a developmental disability or head and spinal cord injury. And our percussion ensembles performed recently. They performed downtown at the Peace Center Plaza, and we're just so proud of the work that is happening in our music studio 1700. We also have a head and spinal cord injury drop-in center located in McAllister Square, where survivors of traumatic brain injury are every day taking another step on the path of recovery. We also have a health clinic that we're very proud of, where physicians and doctors who are very adept at working with people with disabilities are able to provide healthcare in a setting that is both very comfortable and accommodating for people with a disability. And then finally, we're very proud of the partnerships that we have in the community, whether it's our employment partnerships with organizations such as Bon Secours Wellness Center or Caterpillar Incorporated, or perhaps with some of the arts programs like International Ballet Academy and some of the other nonprofits that we are able to volunteer at, and our individuals are able to give back to the community that they're a part of. Perhaps more than anything, proud of the partnerships that we have with other organizations in the community. It is important for us to be seen not just as a drain on dollars from the community, but as a resource for the community to make it a more vibrant place to live and be.
Tyler, I'd love for you to share a story or two with us about the experience that folks have engaging with Thrive Upstate.
So I referenced our partnership with the International Ballet Academy, and in one of their upcoming performances of the ballet Don Quixote, one of the individuals supported by Thrive Upstate, his name's JJ, is actually performing with the dancers as part of the ballet. It's a wonderful example of our individuals deciding what is a passion of theirs, what is important to them, and we simply are in the background giving what support we can to make that happen. But they're truly the ones who are charting their course in life, deciding what they want to do. And we provide what support may be needed, but it's really them living their best life. And that's one of the things that we're very proud about.
I love that.
I also mentioned our partnership with the Bon Secours Wellness Arena. We have several individuals. When you go to a performance or an event or a game there at the well, that work there at those events as event staff. And you might not even realize that it's someone with a disability who is helping you find your section or row. And that's the way it should be, that our individuals are able to be a part of the community without necessarily always having to be defined by their disability. And so we're very grateful for the partnership with Bon Secours Wellness Arena and the individuals that they employ there that are helping you enjoy the event. And perhaps you don't even realize the severity of the disability that they live with and are overcoming every day.
What a great example of public private partnership that Thrive Upstate facilitates because as community members, it makes our experience wonderful. It gives employment to folks and connects them with things they're interested in and helps a public amenity like the well function really, really well. Tell us a little bit about how Thrive Upstate is structured.
So Thrive Upstate is a quasi-governmental organization, which is a boring way of just saying that we were established by a statute. The Greenville County Disability Board was established to support individuals in the county with developmental disabilities. We are also a 501c3 and have rebranded as Thrive Upstate. We are governed by a 9-member board that is appointed by the governor, and also in partnership with state agencies, we provide supports to individuals who are eligible for Medicaid services.
I'll note for listeners that we have done previous episodes about boards and commissions and how vital they are and a great way for you to get connected as community members to the work of our local and state governments. And so you can apply to serve on Thrive Upstate's board. And we can put a link in the show notes for that past episode about serving on boards and commissions. It's such a great and important way to get involved. So at Greater Good Greenville, you know, Tyler, that we are deeply committed to nonprofits and quasi-governmental organizations being some of the best ways to deploy public dollars, like Medicaid that you referenced, because you have community members at the helm of steering where their own tax dollars should go. And you use a combination of Medicaid waiver funds, grants, private donations from individuals to serve your customers. And I bet you feel the same about being a community-oriented organization. So why do you think nonprofits and organizations like Thrive Upstate are important to community good?
We're close to the ground, and which means we can pivot when the landscape changes very quickly. We don't have a lot of the bureaucratic layers that a traditionally full government agency would have, which means we also can have that personal connection. I myself am a father of children with disabilities, one of whom is supported by Thrive Upstate. And so I'm able to not only wear an administrator hat, but also the parent, family member hat in guiding our decisions. It also means we're a part of the community, that we are helping to build the community where we live and work and play to be the type of place that where we want to be. And being a part of that community, not separate from it, is critical for us. It also helps us to be more innovative and be forward thinking in the programs that we offer and the ways that we support individuals. And there's obviously an element that is necessary of accountability. We are held to a standard that we have to meet, and performance is critical. But we're able to act in a way that it feels natural for the individuals that we work with. And that naturalness is perhaps a corny word, but very important to us because our job is to help people live an amazing life. And what a wonderful responsibility, but also privilege that is.
That is so beautifully said. I concur with the culture that I have seen anytime I have engaged with Thrive Upstate. You really do have just such a healthy, wonderful, vibrant place for people to thrive, as is in your name. How long have you been in this role?
I've been with Thrive Upstate for just about 8 years now. Prior to that, I was at other disability boards in Anderson and Oconee County. But this is what I've done my entire career since our oldest daughter was born 28 years ago. This has been our family's path. But I've been here at Thrive for going on 8 years.
And what has excited you most about coming into this role?
The ability to think outside the box. And I know that's cliche, but it's cliche for a reason that here in Greenville County, there's an undercurrent of talent that we can tap into. There's an undercurrent of a willingness to make our community great. And we're able to tap into that. It's an easy sell, right? We're trying to help people with a lifelong disability live life as though they had no disability. And here in Greenville, that message goes over really well. And people respond to that and are receptive to it. And in turn, we get their support and we can give that investment in us back to the community by making it just a wonderful place.
I mean, the work you do has deep meaning, obviously. It means a lot to you all who do it, and it means a lot to the people you serve. But I'm curious what you might say about ROI from a public perspective who might not care about this issue, but who want to see effective work being done.
Yeah, interestingly enough, that's something that we think about quite a bit. And normally a nonprofit wouldn't be thinking in those terms of an ROI or a return on investment. But we take that quite seriously, that we have to give back more than we are bringing in. And we feel that the community outreach programs that we have, a part of that message is that here we are giving back more than we have taken in. And when we partner with employers and they see the incredible value our individuals bring to their workplace, when I'll use Peerberg, a local manufacturing employer here in Greenville County. When our individuals go into work at Peerberg and the impact they have on their coworkers, the investment in Thrive suddenly starts to multiply because of the effect that they have. Or when our individuals go to another nonprofit, such as Meals on Wheels, and help deliver meals to individuals who need that in their homes, the investment in Thrive Upstate begins to multiply because of the impact that the people we support have on others. And it's truly measurable, the impact that our individuals have on our community. And so in a lot of ways, our job at Thrive Upstate is to get out of the way of our individuals. And it's not about us as an organization, it's about the people that we support and the impact that they have on the community. And in those ways, we feel like our return on investment is significant.
That's wonderful. Part of me hates the term ROI when it comes to human lives because, we are not widgets or stocks, but the multiplier in people's lives is what's really important. And that's what you're talking about, which is terrific. So since you've been doing this work your whole career, I'm curious how the disability community has changed over time and our government and nonprofit sector's approach and private sector's approach to engaging with individuals who might have a lifelong disability has changed.
In many ways, as a community, we've taken a lot of steps forward and we still have some critical work to do. But in many ways, our communities are more welcoming and accepting and understanding of individuals with disabilities in the workplace, in our recreation spaces and entertainment spaces. We're making more and more accommodations There is still work, however, to be done, particularly in the employment space, where individuals with disabilities experience a rate of unemployment that is several times higher than the normal unemployment rate. So that is one area that we need to continue to work on, where the individuals we support are subject to unemployment rates much higher than the rest of the workforce. I don't know that we are going backwards in any direction. The things that perhaps we would define as worse are just things that aren't moving as quickly as perhaps we would like. But I don't know that I could identify anything, Katie, that I would say is truly worse in the last 20 years than it was 20 years ago for people with disabilities.
Looking ahead, what is your greatest wish and hope for the next 10 years, let's say, that things change, whether it be policy, community culture, programs?
Well, there's clearly a significant need for more supports with mental illness. And those individuals with developmental disability who also struggle with mental health is probably the biggest concern that I have going forward over the next 10 years. So we have to find ways to more effectively and appropriately support individuals with mental health issues in their lives. And that is my number one concern.
Do you see any movement about that, especially as that intersection with disability?
There is current legislation that's headed to the governor's desk that will combine the current Department of Disabilities and Special Needs with the current Department of Mental Health, along with drug and alcohol and substance abuse. There is the hope that this consolidation will provide more effective resources and access and supports to individuals who are across those spectrums. We'll have to wait and see if the reality meets the expectation and the intent of that legislation, but that is on the horizon in the short term, new legislation headed to the governor's desk.
Tyler, I'm just so grateful to you for taking the time to join us. I've just been so impressed with your work and the work of all of your colleagues at Thrive Upstate and all the individuals you serve. I feel like you're such a great example of the innovation of nonprofits and quasi-governmental organizations in helping effectuate our state's intent to serve the people of South Carolina. And so thanks for doing it so beautifully right here in our county.
Thank you, Katie. It was a pleasure to speak with you and to talk about the wonderful mission of Thrive Upstate. So thank you.
Hi, Simple Civics Greenville County listeners, Nathaniel here. If you've made it this far, then we think you'll really love our newsletter. Sign up for bonus content, updates, and more right in your inbox. Look for the link in the description that says newsletter to sign up, or visit us at simplecivicgreenvillecounty.org. Find the link in the menu that says newsletter and sign up there. We'll see you again next week.